Elapsed Time by Katie Dye, Allison Mims, and Nicole Owens. Here are the standards that students should master in relation to elapsed time by the end of third grade. We have also included the QCC standards in regards to technology. What is elapsed time? Elapsed time is the amount of time that has passed from the beginning to the end of an activity. In this educational video, we will explain how to find elapsed time using 3 strategies: a T-chart, a number line, and subtraction. In order to understand elapsed time, we are going to begin by examining how to tell time on 2 different types of clocks, an analog and a digital clock. An analog clock shows the time using both numbers and hands. Notice the interval between each number on the analog clock is represented by 5 minutes. A digital clock shows the time using only numbers. Notice that there is a colon that separates the hours from the minutes. Elapsed time can be tricky. However, we are going to show you some strategies that you can use to help you. The first strategy involves creating a T-chart.
In science class, Mrs. Banks showed a video on reptiles. If the video started at 9 a.m. and ended at 10:05 a.m., how long did it last? So our start time is 9 a.m. and our end time is 10:05 a.m. So from 9 o'clock to 9:15, that's just 15 minutes. From 9:15 to 9:30, it's 15 minutes. From 9:30 to 9:45, it's 15 minutes. From 9:45 to 10 o'clock, it's 15 minutes. But from 10 o'clock to 10:05, it's only 5 minutes. Now, if we add all of these together, we have a total of 65 minutes. Now, solve the next 2 on your own.
Now let's look at another strategy we can use to solve an elapsed time problem. Let's begin by reading the word problem. It states that Michael started mowing lawns at 1:10 p.m. He finishes mowing at 4:05 p.m. The question is, how much time did Michael spend mowing? In order to solve this problem, we must first begin with looking at the numbers in the word problem that will help us solve it. What's important is the time that Michael started, which was 1:10, and the time that he finished, which was 4:05 p.m. To solve this problem, we are going to use a number line. Notice that I've created my number line, and I put our start time, which is 1:10, towards the left of the number line, and our end time, which is 4:05 p.m., towards the right of the number line. Just like an ordinary number line, the numbers increase from left to right. So with that in mind, I'm going to begin with 1:10 p.m. And the simplest way to solve this problem is going to be to make jumps in increments beginning with 1 hour. So if I make a jump of 1 hour from 1:10, it will take me to 2:10 p.m. Notice that my hours are changing, but my minutes are staying the same. It's also always good to put your intervals at the top because it makes it easier to solve the problem later on. So again, I need to jump from 2:10 to 4:05 so I can make another hour interval, which will take us to 3:10 p.m. Again, your hours are changing, but your minutes are staying the same. Now, If I add another hour to 3:10, it will take us to 4:10. But notice that the end time is 4:05, so that means we would go over, and we don't want that to happen, so we need to make a smaller jump. When making smaller jumps, I want to think of a number that's easy to add together. So I'm at 3:10 right now, and a number that would be easy to add to 10 would be 30. So I'm going to make a jump this time of 30 minutes. If it's 3:10 now and I add 30 to 10, that's going to take me to 3:40 p.m. Notice that I still need to go to 4:05, so I'm going to have to make another jump. This time I'm at 3:40, and I know if I add another 20 minutes, that will take me to 4 o'clock. And I'm going to add my time up here. So now I'm at 4 o'clock, and I only need to go to 4:05. So I know that that's only going to be a jump of 5 minutes. Now that we've figured out the hardest part, which is getting from 1:10 to 4:05, all we have to do is add up the total number of intervals to figure out how much time Michael actually spent mowing the lawn. Notice that I've added addition signs between each interval because all we need to do is add up the total time to find how much time he actually spent mowing the lawn. To do this, I'm going to begin with adding the hours first. So when I add 1 hour plus 1 hour, that gives me 2 whole hours. And then all I need to do is add the minutes. I know that 30 plus 20 is going to give me 50. And then I add 50 plus 5, which will give me a total of 55 minutes. So in all, Michael spent 2 hours and 55 minutes mowing the lawn.
We can find elapsed time by subtracting. It is important to remember that we subtract the start time from the end time. If we stack it to subtract it, then we need to place the end time on the top. Let's look at the time 7:30 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. We'll begin by subtracting 11:30 minus 7:30, making sure that we line up the minutes and the hours. We'll say 0 minus 0 is 0. 3 minus 3 is 0. That gives us our minutes. Now we'll say 11 minus 7, which is 4. That gives us our hours. This tells us that 4 hours and no minutes have passed. So the amount of elapsed time is 4 hours. Let's look at another problem. Here we have 8:30 a.m. to 11:45 a.m. We'll put 11:45 on the top, and we'll subtract 8:30. We'll start with the minutes. 5 minus 0 is 5. 4 minus 3 is 1. That gives us 15 minutes. 11 minus 8 is 3, which gives us our hours. The amount of elapsed time is 3 hours and 15 minutes.